Welcome everyone. This is my first live. I am trying to go live so we can get our watch count up a little bit. And this is one of my first times doing it, and it's gonna be a little choppy. It's been a while since I've done it on TikTok because I only did that to learn how to get messaging and content for this. And now here I am on here waiting for all the very new followers and people that I have been privileged to subscribe to this channel. So they're not really followers, but they are subscribers to the channel and the content. So I appreciate, from 2 weeks ago, we were at 74, and we're roughly around 13 to 14,000. It's been an awesome journey, because honestly, one thing I've always realized is time is something that I always tend to be one of the factors that I need to start something or to finish something. Time, I'm realizing more and more, is relative. Time is something that doesn't always have the same timeline, because what it can do is, time can allow us to, we're gonna lose our power when we say we'll do something with time. Oh man, someone actually joined and they jumped off. And I think part of that, I probably should have said hi. But again, some of this stuff is new for me. The reason why I'm doing this is because we've had a lot of fantastic growth. The very small promotional buy that I did to help spread this message did fantastic. I'd say almost 12 to 30 times the performance that I imagine. Some of the numbers, even from what YouTube said, they were even sometimes 18 to 30 times on average. It fell in there. So, clearly the message and the videos are resonating. So I'm really excited about that. One thing that I don't quite understand is the watch hours, because most of my new watch hours have really gone to YouTube. I don't really have the benefit of having that count to help really grow this channel. So hey, here's me trying my first live and waiting for people to join. Hey, whoever joined, thank you so much. I'm Kusal Matthew of KooS Key, as you've seen some of my videos, and you're one of the new limited people who has followed the channel, and whoever you are already jumped off. But to me, what this is getting some of my public watch hours up. And I'm wondering, because what I've heard is these type lives tend to really do well, and they can really give a huge amount, while not having to wait for the algorithm to really push the content. Because that's what I'm realizing with YouTube, and actually all of these social media platforms. They're media platforms. Media, the way it works is like when I sold advertising back in college. It's, you have a message, people want to have their message packaged together in your library of messages, and they want you to deliver it to people. It's as simple as that. And but yeah, I lost my train of thought. But hey, welcome whoever just joined. Hi y'all, I'm Kusal Matthew of KooS Key. It's really nice to have you. This is one of my newer public lives on Google. I used to do this on TikTok a long time ago to learn how to get content for, this here in the YouTube channel. This YouTube channel for me was something that I wanted to do, but I didn't realize why I wanted to do it. I knew that there was this message that I wanted to reach. YouTube was the place I knew I wanted to put my videos because I knew this is where I really wanted people to understand and watch it. But the hard part is I just took the advice of a lot of people in my life, and I was like, hey, they're like, go, your stuff's meant for TikTok. Go do it here. Go do it there. So I was like, okay, let me follow whatever you're saying. And I realized that it was good practice, but it wasn't really good in a sense of it didn't help me connect with my passion. Because here's what happened. Trauma and issues are something that happens in a lot of parts of life. But one thing for me is I felt that it was very uncommon. And so what I would used to do is I would really have a lot of guilt and shame behind a lot of what I felt. And, and that was tough because when you have and you carry a lot of guilt and shame, you tend to want to either dim your light, you want to either play the part for other people, or you end up never really get to be yourself because you're always focused on other people. And over time and over years, I ended up just giving a lot of my focus and my energy to other people's well-beings. I had a supervisor at work who would always give me a certain set of jobs, and it was all the things that he knew I would do well, other people wouldn't, and he would have this expectation, and then he would try to change the expectations or use this weird power control to make me do whatever I needed him to do, because ultimately I just wanted to move up and I wanted to earn more. And it was these really weird manipulations that I was seeing in people. And as I wanted to really do this as a passion project, so for me, this is a passion project. I was like, it doesn't matter how much energy I put in, the money was not about making money. It was just about me making this more of, more of just something that felt right. I knew that we all had this pain inside, and I was like, I can really communicate and help other people just feel so normal in the feelings that they have. Because for me, I always felt so like an outlier. I felt so much like this person who just didn't always fit in, even though I fit in. And so I was on this healing journey, and back in 2020, I was dealing with some infertility, and my ex-wife at the time, we were doing years of stuff, and I was doing all this work, and I realized that ultimately, like, I had a lot of anxiety, I had a lot of pressure, I had a lot of stuff. Lack of sleep was another thing. But on this healing journey, I started finally running towards the pain. I started really working towards, healing. And as I started, it felt like another part of me would just want to, like, it was like, hey man, I'm the one who kept you safe. You seem like you're good. It's time for me to go. And I'd be like, no, like, you piece of your personality, stay aside. I might need you later. And it just kept getting harder and harder to really kind of keep that afloat. And so what I had to really do was I had to kind of journal and really meditate on the messages and the pattern on everything that this part of me was really trying to say. And, this inner voice was just, I couldn't turn it off. Like, it was like, hey, like, I was always an overactive mind. I mean, that was part of the stress response. That was part of probably all the years, and also just my intellect. and me being a logical person. But regardless, having trauma and having all that, your mind always ruminates. You're always looking for signals. You're always looking for something that, might be a symbol that you're not safe and you need to, you know, have a response. And so, as I was feeling more safe, as I was letting go more of my past, I realized that I was like, oh my God, like that little voice is going away more and more. But that part of me that I carried for so long, it ended up, um, like, this is like the memorial to that energy that I carried for decades. It's the, the hurt inner child that I just never got to heal. So this is actually pretty cool. I've been riffing for the last 11 minutes. At some point, we had almost 19 people here. So I appreciate everyone who's here with me right now. Some people put some messages that I just cannot read. I'll be honest. I'm an English speaker. I speak some Spanish and Sinhalese, but cannot read some of the language and some of the stuff you're putting. So, and that's been also really interesting because for me, with my perspective being so versatile, being born in Sri Lanka and growing up in Metro Detroit, I've really been able to have that global perspective. So a lot of the content here seems like it's doing better and better in India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan, which are actually, the three largest geographical areas that has um, really resonated and grown with some of this YouTube access that I paid for directly through YouTube. So I ended up spending a little bit more than I initially budgeted, but the this has been working amazing. So it's kind of like, when things are good, you have to sometimes give as much energy to maximize the growth, to maximize what it can do. And right now, I'm really kind of at the tail ends, and I was just kind of sputtering, and I'll see how it performs, next month, but next month. But part of progress is never giving up. Part of progress is doing something slowly and doing it consistently and doing it on the days you don't want to do it, doing it on the days that you want to do it. But you're not doing it just because you're like, hey, I need to like produce. Sometimes it's just more about the actions, it's about doing things that move it forward. Or maybe you haven't been resting, and sometimes you just need to rest and reconnect with your family and eat some good food. Sometimes things that we do for our soul can be really important and really healthy. So, hey, for the crazy thing is, for the last 7 minutes, I've genuinely had at least one person here with me watching. So this is really freaking cool, and I appreciate all of you. Let me tell you a little bit about the channel. I think maybe if you understood the channel, it would, you could put some questions, you can understand, and we can engage a little bit more. KooS's Key is my channel. There are 4 good playlists that I really promote. The first playlist is the A series. A series is about learning how to change the value in which we have for ourselves. It's about self-worth and creating a sense of inner peace and inner confidence. Chapter 2 is the anxiety series, and more about fear and anxiety, and it's about learning how our brain and the triggers, and there's just so many things that are happening, and sometimes fear and our stress response to fear can sometimes run amok. The third one is more about learning how to heal and create and change your mindset. That one, I'll be honest, I went a little ham, and there's a lot of videos. The Self-efficacy series, that one went really well, and that's really the one I felt like I should have probably started with, but that's just not how life happened. Then the other one I have is more about generational trauma, as Siri is talking. Siri. So if you watch any of my videos, that happens. I'm literally talking in my videos, in my earlier ones, and Siri would just start talking. It's kind of funny how technology is helpful and also really weird like that. And then again, why is my phone listening to everything I say? Because when I say hey, she she starts listening. So she's been listening the whole time. Weird, right? So anyways, I'm Kusal Matthew of KooS Key. I have about 45 videos all in within the playlist to help you unlock and heal and grow and become the best selves for yourselves, because I believe that we're all meant to have a purpose. We're all meant to have a sense of inner peace. And what I call inner peace is knowing that we can have inner peace. You know, like when you eat food, you like take this breath and everything's calm. Well, realistically, we should be able to have that for more than just when we eat, and just when we sleep, and just when we feel safe. And I feel like if we realize that sometimes the feelings we have are valid, they don't have to be so intense, we can desensitize it and take control. Because as I've been doing more and more of my content, I am realizing that anxiety, fear, these other emotions, a lot of it is psychosomatic, and a lot of it does have impacts based on our perspective, based on how we see the world. So it's really kind of interesting. So, I have one person here. Let me tell you kind of why you're here. And if you've been the same person who's been here the whole time, put a message now so that way I know. But if not, no worries. The reason why I'm doing this is about 2 weeks ago, I decided, hey, I wanted to make an investment on this initiative, and I decided to go ahead and invest in this channel. And it's grown in 2 weeks more than I ever imagined. I hit all my milestones, I hit everything, and it is just fantastic. The one milestone that I'll be honest, I'm just being too impatient with is my public watch hours. Because I did a small ad buy with my AdSense and through YouTube, all the exposure I've gotten has gone to YouTube's watch hour count, and it does not count in my public hours. So I'm learning, one, to learn how to grow the channel so that way we can really build something consistently. I can then hire some people, build some other creators, and make even better content, and then spread it out more. Ultimately, I'm realizing with all media and it's all about access. It's about views, it's about how good my stuff is, so that way people on the other side want to listen. And my stuff seems like it's really resonating because I designed it around you, around the person listening. It's about your experience. It's learning how to normalize that experience. So that's really been kind of the focus. And yeah, so I'm going on about 20 minutes of just literally riffing, talking, and I have not taken a break. So I'd love to know more about you on the other side, or what do you want to know more about me? Put a question in, put something. If you haven't, subscribe to the channel, because that would be awesome. Um, I'd love some feedback, y'all. I'll be honest, as I've been doing this more and more, I am realizing that a lot of people, the ones that I thought would be there and to be probably the most supportive, they are, but I don't always get the feedback that I need. Once you start not having a boss and you start kind of doing things on your own, it's a passion project. One, I don't know how much I would take, but some of that negative criticism of like, hey, have you thought about doing this? Because I felt not so great about that. Like, that would be great to get that type of feedback, but it seems like a lot of people don't always are comfortable doing that. So it's really more and more about, I think, asking, because now I just do. I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? I'm like, hey, I know this and this isn't the greatest, but I've improved here. What do you think? And I think asking for feedback is really important, because for me, if you've seen any of my content, I haven't always had the right parental figures, like, or if I had, like, my parents were always busy or they had their own things, or I just didn't want to accept it. You know, I'm hard-headed and I just wanted to do things on my own. I wanted to do things my own way. And I'm realizing that a lot of my frustrations and a lot of my things that have happened in my life all stem from the fact that I was not true to who I was, and it was because I was trying to do things because I thought I would be either safer that way, or I was doing it because I would maybe have more of a sense of love and a sense of appreciation, and I would have more of a sense of um, that inner feeling that sometimes I didn't always have. And I think a lot of that came from just not knowing that, you know what I felt was normal. And what I felt is not something I had to carry on for a long time. Like, my 20 years of random issues and things I carried took me about 3 to 7 years to truly heal. My little one, as I mentioned in one of my videos, we were able to really tackle that and focus on that and really get that going, and resolved in 9 months. So it's really about mm, understanding that things can change and things can get better, but then too, it's about really working towards taking daily action to create new experience. I think for me, that has been the biggest change. And I think over time, as I was able to do this more and more and more, of healing, of feeling self-love, of feeling, that I was worthy, really helped break some of those old beliefs. And then with the void, I was able to say, hey, you're safe. Hey, you don't have to feel anxious. 2222, hey, must be an auspicious time. We had, the time I looked up, it was 2222. Sorry, I lost track of time, but, or my train of thought. But, anyways, this is my first time going live. I wanted to try to go live to honestly grow the channel. Since I'm not having many people, commenting, I'm just gonna, sit here for a little bit and wait for some additional engagement. Because, hey, I appreciate it, but I don't need to just talk to talk.